Good morning, everyone. This is Taimoor, your host for IEEE VTS webinars under Vehicular Technology Society. And like always, we try to find interesting topics that are, I would say, critical for us, for our development, and for us being a society within IEEE. Here for today's topic, it is even more important because nowadays we are seeing the climate changes. Some of them are drastic. The temperatures are varying. The sustainability is one of the key element for whatever we do, whatever we design. We need to consider that. And being members of IEEE, which is one of the largest engineering body in the world, I think the responsibility falls on us as well to review this, to see how we can contribute towards the society, to not only for IEEE, but on a larger scale for the global community. So for that perspective, we will have a discussion today. We have invited Dr. Sneha. She's a postdoc researcher in France and also a task force member for climate IEEE VTS CSTF. This is the Climate and Sustainability Task Force. She will talk more about it. So I will hand over the floor to Sneha, and thank you so much for taking time and being with us today.
Am I audible to everyone? Is it okay? Hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank Katie for organizing everything and Dr. Taimoor, especially for giving me the chance to be part of this YP webinar series, which is organized by VTS. As a young professional, I'm really excited to talk to all of you about this very important topic. So at the start of my presentation, I'll explain what climate change is and how different countries are working together to solve this problem through the Paris Agreement. And then I'll talk about the role of IEEE in this effort and what the Young Professional Climate and Sustainability Task Force has been doing so far. At the end of the presentation, I'll also share how other young professionals can get involved. So thank you all once again for joining this webinar, and I look forward to have a very engaging discussion at the end of my presentation. So understanding climate and climate change. So climate refers to the long-term pattern of weather conditions in a particular region. It encompasses various factors such as temperature, humidity, precipitation, wind patterns, and also seasonal variations. Climate change, on the other hand, refers to the alteration in these long-term weather patterns over an extended period. Typically, it can be decades or more. So these shifts, they can be natural, such as through variations in the solar cycle, but since 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of the climate change. It can be due to the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, deforestation, industrial processes which release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So these gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, it traps the heat from the sun and leads to a gradual increase in the Earth's average temperature. So the climate change impacts not only ecosystem, but also the weather patterns, sea levels, and biodiversity. And it poses significant challenges to our environment, societies, and economies. So the question is, why is it important to understand climate change? It is very important because it requires collective effort to mitigate these kind of effects, and without understanding and adapting to these changing conditions, it is difficult to tackle these kind of problems. What is Paris Agreement? So Paris Agreement is the landmark international treaty adopted in 2015 during United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Conference of Parties, also called as COP21. This agreement didn't happen over a few days. This was a result of years of negotiation and it marked a significant turning point in global efforts to address climate change, with nearly almost all the countries coming together to commit to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and also enhancing the climate resilience. Why do we need Paris Agreement on climate change? It is very important because climate is changing at a very alarming rate. The data provided by the World Meteorological Organization, it highlights why the Paris Agreement is very important. There's a 66% of chance that the global temperature will exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius, which is above pre-industrial levels in the next few years. And also a 98% chance of setting new temperature records. So this agreement becomes crucial in mitigating this escalating impacts of climate change and safeguarding the planet for our future generations. What is the Paris Agreement on climate change? So here, to limit the average global temperature increase to well below 2 degrees centigrade, and also to pursue efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The second one is to enhance the resilience of climate impacts, many of which is unavoidable due to the greenhouse gases which are already emitted. And the third one is to align the financial flows in the world with these objectives. So the Paris Agreement, it also provides a framework not only for financial, but also for technical and also capacity building. NDCs, nationally determined contributions. So these NDCs are at the heart of the Paris Agreement and the achievement of its long-term goals. NDCs embody efforts by each country to reduce national emissions and adapt to the impact of climate change. The Paris Agreement requires each party or country to prepare, communicate, and maintain their own successive NDCs that they intend to achieve towards this climate change. So these parties, they can pursue their own domestic mitigation measures with the aim of achieving this objective. It can be a longer term objective. So the NDCs contain informations on targets, policies, and measures to reduce the national emissions and also towards adapting to climate change impacts such as floods and droughts. NDCs are also submitted every 5 years to the UNFCCC Secretariat. To enhance the ambition over time, the Paris Agreement has provided a successive NDCs which will represent a progression of the NDC compared to the previous NDC. It means that the parties are requested to submit the next round of NDC, for example, let's say by 2020, and thereafter, every 5 years, it can 2020, 2025, or 2030, they, regardless of their respective implementation timeframe, they are supposed to submit a new or an updated NDC. So these parties at any time can adjust their existing NDC or they can update it. This NDC should be more ambitious. They cannot just backslide into a lower ambition. So this is the one of the condition for to update or to get a new NDC for each party. So this is how at a global level, our actions become more and more ambitious toward reaching the objectives of the Paris Agreement. Are the current NDCs on track? The answer is not yet. So far, we have all 193 parties to the Paris Agreement that have issued at least a first NDC, and 151 parties have communicated a new and updated NDC as of November 2021. But The quality and ambition, for many reasons, it can vary from country to country. It can be because of the lack of adequate finance capacity, and in some cases insufficient political commitment. I'm just going to take an example of France and how they are contributing to the NDC. Since currently I'm residing in France, I thought it would be a good example. So France has been very proactive in addressing climate change and has set an ambitious goal to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and transition toward a low carbon economy. So some of the key areas include the greenhouse gas emission reduction. The France has committed to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions by 40% by 2020 when compared to its levels back in 1990s. So this reduction target applies to emissions from sectors not covered by European Union emissions, which includes sectors such as transportation, buildings, agriculture, and waste. The second one is renewable energy and energy efficiency. It also aims to increase the share of renewable energy in its total energy consumption, whereas they are targeting towards expanding the renewable energy capacity, particularly in the electricity sector. So France has also emphasized their importance of energy efficiency measures to reduce the overall consumption of energy. And the third one is transportation. So France also recognizes, and it is one of the significant role of the transportation sector in emissions, and they have set objectives to reduce its carbon footprint. And this is done by including and promoting the adoption of electrical vehicles, improving public transportation, supporting sustainable and urban mobility solutions. The next one is the forest and the land use. NDCs of France include commitments to preserve and expand forest areas, promote sustainable forest management practices, and to enhance carbon sequestration through afforestation and reforestation. And the last one is adaptation and resilience. NDCs of France highlight measures to strengthen infrastructure, to enhance water resource management, protect biodiversity, and also develop warning systems to address the climate-related risk. So these were a few of the points that France have included in their NDC. I'm not saying that I've covered all the points, but these are a few of the most important ones. And similarly, it varies depending on the countries. So let's see how IEEE is playing a role here. The Paris Agreement, it consists of almost 29 articles that covers various aspects related to mitigation, adaptation, finance, technology transfer, capacity building, and transparency. So Article 10, that is technology of the Paris Agreement, specifically addresses the issue of technology development and transfer. Under Article 10, it recognizes the importance of enhancing the technology development and transfer to support climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts. So IEEE here plays a very significant role by leveraging not only its expertise, but also resources in technology and engineering. It promotes research, innovation, and the development of sustainable solutions to address climate challenges by fostering collaborations among the young professionals, policymakers, stakeholders to drive advancements in renewable energy, smart grids, energy efficiency, and several other areas that these researchers are working on, and which are critical for mitigating the climate change and also to achieve the environmental sustainability. IEEE, through its initiatives and standards, They are contributing to the global efforts in combating this climate change and creating a very greener future. Article 10 technologies. So here there are three main points that are taken into account. The first one, promoting technological innovation. It aims to promote development and deployment of climate-friendly technologies, which includes clean and renewable energy technologies, energy-efficient technologies, and other low-carbon solutions. And the second one is technology transfer and cooperation. Here it emphasizes the need for enhanced international cooperation so that we can support the transfer of environmentally sound technologies, not just that, but also the knowledge and expertise to the developing countries. And the third and the final point here that I'm going to highlight for the Article 10, that is technology, is financial and capacity building support. So in this point, we try to call for the developed countries to provide the financial resources, technology transfer, and the capacity building support to the developing countries so that they help them to access and adopt to these climate-friendly technologies. IEEE CSTF. So how IEEE CSTF, since its inception, have been contributing to this such an important topic. Let's see. So let me introduce you to the CSTF task force, CSTF 2023 cohort. So the Climate and Sustainability Task Force is a recently established group within the IEEE Young Professionals, and it is led by Dr. Sajid Vijay Surya, who's the chair of the YPCSTF. Initially, when we started the task force was created, we had 12 members, and we few weeks back we have expanded our task force, and currently we are 25 members in the YP cohort. And all of these members who are part of the Climate and Sustainability Task Force, they come from different backgrounds. We have a very diverse group and also diverse expertise. Everyone is contributing in their own way towards this climate change domain. So what are the core functions of the Climate and Sustainability Task Force? The first one is to create tools, resources, and support mechanisms for early career professionals to engage in the climate, sustainability, and technology interface. The second core function of the CSTF is to serve as a focal point for YPs engaging in the space and to provide a network for them to have an interaction. Third one is here CSTF is trying to act as an interface between the YPs and other OUs of the IEEE and to provide the necessary YP support across the organization-wide efforts that IEEE has been doing. And the final one is to act as an interface between not only IEEE YPs, but also external youth-driven entities that share a common goal, youth supporting mechanisms and other entities in this climate and sustainability technology interface. So in the future, we are also aiming to train the IEEE community members more on these topics as we go. As I said, we are trying to create an interface between the IEEE and the external entities. So here we can, I'm just showing a global view of how, since the inception of the CSTF, we were able to collaborate with the industries, academia, agencies, and government bodies Some of the examples here are United Nations, Clean Energy Ministerial, International Energy Agency, International Renewable Energy Agency. So there are many other entities that we have been collaborating with so far, and hopefully with many other in the future. So it is definitely a very good start. And we also have our members of the task force who have been representing IEEE CSTF in an global audience. So here we have one of our dedicated task force member, Sibel Ghanem. She had the honor of representing CSTF in the delegation to the Arab Forum on the Sustainable Development earlier this year. Her active participation showed the valuable contributions that CSTF has been doing in promoting the climate and sustainable development in the region. Other than this, CSTF so far has been organizing town hall events. So this is the first town hall event which we had organized at the beginning of the year, on 8th of April, that on the topic of IEEE and its work on climate and sustainability space. So as a speaker, we had IEEE president, and we also had IEEE Smart Village Chair, IEEE Lebanon and United Nations ESCWA representative Radia, Humanitarian Technologies Board Chair Herbert, and Women in Engineering Chair Celia Shehnaz were part of this town hall event, and it was a success, this event, and definitely everyone shared their insights on how everyone can contribute to this climate change issue from an IEEE perspective. And engaging in later, we had a productive question and answer session where cutting edge topics related to this domain were thoroughly discussed. And the second town hall event we had was on the topic of energy transition, climate and sustainability, engagement of young professionals in a global setting. So this was the first event where CSTF was trying to engage with the external organizations. We can see here that we had speakers from International Renewable Energy Agency, International Energy Agency, Student Energy, Clean Energy Ministerial, which was held on the 27th of April, and it was a very huge success as well. And we'll be making these videos of the town hall events available in the near future in the IEEE TV. For the moment, we haven't uploaded it yet. So other than this, we have also, on behalf of the CSTF, we have had hands-on workshop by the YP chair, Dr. Hasala Dharmavardena. And our YP CSTF chair has also been educating the youth on climate and sustainability, educating high school students about these kind of topics related to climate change and sustainability is very important, which we think, because fostering environmental awareness and empowering them to become driving agents in these kind of topics is very important. So just by providing them with the knowledge, skills, the opportunities to engage in these kind of initiatives, it is very important so that we can inspire and equip these youth to make them informed choices and contribute to a sustainable future, right? And soon we will be also releasing a survey to create a skills and contribution and a trainer pool where all the members of the IEEE YP can based on their interest, they can say that okay, I'm working in this particular domain. My expertise in I don't know, in from the VTS, this particular domain, and maybe I would be interested in organizing and conducting and training session on the CSTF. So yeah, in the near future, we will be making this available to all the YP members where they can show their interest and based on the expertise we might be needing for the programs that we are going to organize. We are going to contact the people who have responded to the survey, and I feel that definitely it's a good opportunity so that everyone can contribute in this domain. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions related to the engagements that we might have within the YP-CSTF, please feel free to reach out to me or the CSTF chair or the YP team. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sneha. Thank you so much. It was very informative, I would say. Lots of things that I learned. So I think one of the element, maybe some of our colleagues who are not here today, they may watch the video later on. How can they contribute if they want to?
The first thing is because right now we are trying to set the base to the CSTF. So we are saying that it's similar to any of the organization, right? Like how it was with the YPs. First, you need to say that we do exist here. So we need to say that we are doing certain amount of activities. So as a CSTF, we have been showing that we have been doing activities not only with the internal entities of IEEE, but also the external entities. And sometimes based on the technical expertise, we might need speakers or people who are working in specific domains. It can be, sometimes we might need speakers for smart grids. It might be tomorrow, it might be related to something related to electric vehicles. So when volunteers just come forward, when we are going to release this survey, if people are going to come forward and say that this is our technical expertise, or maybe you can also say that we want to organize an event related to CSTF, we would definitely reach out to you. So right now we are just gathering ideas how maybe if you have an idea how we can help you to make this come true, right, this event. So it's all about just getting out there, giving out your ideas, and that is what we want from all the members of the YP. And we want to see that how many people are really interested to come forward and contribute in this unique task force that we have. So we might have opportunity for all the other members who are out there. At the beginning, we didn't think that we are going to expand to 25 members, but as days passed by, we had more engagements coming in from the external organizations. International Energy Agency, they say that, hey, we might need someone who is related to this expertise. So we always have something coming up. So it is good to have more people who are working in different expertise. So just to show the external organizations that IEEE is not only about this one particular domain, but we have people working in different expertise, right? It is not only about one particular or expertise. So we have so many people working in different domains. It not necessarily be smart grids or one particular aspect of.
I agree, and especially our society, we also have one edge because we work with cars, so vehicular technology, and they are one of the factors or one of the key player in the environmental impacts. So how we can make them better? We like all the companies, they're already working on it, but how we can learn from each other's experience. I think these are the key takeaways. And with that, I have another question. Do you or have you started any collaboration with other societies, like technical societies yet?
Technical societies, the thing is, at the beginning, we were not exactly pointing out towards that we need one member from each society, which is not our intention. But when we created our task force, we had applications coming in from the technical societies. We have people from the GRSS society. I'm in the from the DIS society, but I think right now, currently, every society have their own climate and sustainability representative, if I'm not wrong, because there is a tab climate change initiative, and part of which I think every society must have, or I don't know if it is mandatory yet, but there is a representative for each technical society. But in the future, everyone will have, all the technical society will have the opportunity to be a part of the CSTF. Currently, few members are part of it and part of the core CSTF, the member cohort. But yeah, in future, it is similar to YP. I think we'll also have a liaison with the technical societies.
Okay. Yeah.
Does VTS already have a climate and sustainability representative?
We are working on different activities related to it. So I think we will soon have a few things set up.
I think it will be.
Yeah. So it's yeah, we do have. So Katie confirms it. We already have a representative. Thanks,
Okay.
Katie.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. So, and any other aspect that you would like to share before we close for today?
Any other aspects? So all I would say is just don't limit yourself thinking that, hey, I don't really have an expertise in this climate domain. Because when I joined Climate and Sustainability Task Force, to be frank, I had no idea about this Paris Agreement or anything, whatever is happening regarding the policies or anything. So even I'm in this learning phase, and there is a lot to do as we move forward, right? We need more members and more motivated members, not just for the numbers, but people who are actually motivated to do something in this domain. We are definitely looking forward to have more volunteers, and just but you need to just go out there and say that, hey, I have expertise. Maybe you might be knowing, the members of your society might be knowing more than what I'm sharing today. They might have more expertise or more knowledge about these Paris agreements,
Yeah.
or it's just that they need to come out there and say that I've been working in this domain. Maybe they are contributing through their industrial work or the day-to-day work that they're doing. So they might have some idea about what is happening. So it is just about coming forward and getting in touch with the right people about the opportunities, and just not to be afraid of getting in touch with the people. So that is how it is done. Yeah.
And but maybe we have any questions from some of the participants. If anyone would like to raise a question or make a comment, you're welcome. We had a comment in the chat. Thank you for being explicit in your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. But any questions are welcome. So
yes, I mean, if you're hesitant to ask the questions here, you can write to me anytime. I'll respond to your email. So yeah.
Yeah, if not, I would like to say thanks to Sneha for taking time and just enlightening us on what is the task force activities and responsibilities. We will hear more from Sneha, I'm sure, in future about the progress. So once again, thank you for today. And thanks to all listeners.
Thank you so much, Taimoor, first of all, for this opportunity. This is my first webinar, and I hope it was understandable, and I hope I didn't hurry up with explaining. I hope everyone understood the slides. And yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity again. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, thank you for being a nice audience.
Thanks a lot.